halfway point in the regular season. And, I think we've had a pretty good week of practice. Really good on Tuesday. I thought it was really sharp today. Wednesday was okay. Not as sharp as I'd like to be on day 2, but, guys are ready to go. Looking forward to it. Questions?
NCAA has a couple of things they're voting on here, this early signing period. If that were to come to pass, do you think it benefits kids more or the schools more?
I think it benefits the schools more. I don't think it's in the best interest of the student athletes. I think it just benefits us more. We can lock them up and then worry about the next one. I don't. I'm not a proponent of an early signing. I like the process we have right now. I think changes. Everybody thinks it's going to be good, but I think it allows people that have 20 scholarships to lock down 15 of them and then go, take their 10 assistant coaches and go just focus on those 5 and love them up in a way that really is not fair or real. So I don't. There's so many kids transfer nowadays. You read the transactions. Kids are transferred all over the country, and kids are making bad decisions. And I think the faster we make a decision, the worse it's going to get.
You mentioned yesterday you guys are going to be you're going to have to pass the ball more, effectively against Georgia Tech based on their defense. What have you seen, on film without going too specific?
I just think they're firm up front. They're very disciplined. You talk about run defense. They know where their gaps are. Their front is strong. They can two gap. They can be in this gap and then work over and being a guy to the next gap. So I just think they're very physical and strong up front. They are disciplined. I think that's the biggest thing.
Is Simmons maybe the best pass rusher you've faced this far, Antonio Simmons?
It's hard. We'll let you know after the game. Really, I mean, they don't have a lot of pressure on the quarterback at this point. But Patrick Gamble really is the guy up front that I'm most impressed with. But they're good all over. They wouldn't be a good defense if they didn't have one player.
Nate hasn't been sacked very much. I mean, how much? Obviously, it's the offensive line, but it seems like he also does plays a big part in that too. I mean, what do you think?
It's just like if you give up sacks, you don't give up sacks. If you're giving up passing yards, is your pass rush, your 4-man pass rush good enough? It's the same thing at quarterback. It takes an offense line to protect you. It takes the quarterback throwing the ball on time and knowing where to go with it. If you're sitting back there and can't make quick decisions, you got a problem. And it's also the receivers. If they're running good routes and you get the ball to them and they're not slow in their break, making the quarterback slow with throwing the ball, then you get hit. So really, first game of the season was probably the worst sack we gave up.
How's Coleman doing at quarterback on your scout team?
Thayer did a nice job. He really did a nice job. He's tough. Obviously didn't get a lot of work on defense this week just because of that. But probably the most important role that we had this week was that, the old linemen always block. It's a different scheme, but the quarterback's the hard one to play, and, trying to get him to do a little bit of reading. A lot of times we know what the read's going to be, so we try to tell him just so we can play faster. But Thayer did a heck of a job, and he's my player of the week as far as the offense goes.
What's been the best part and the worst part of these young wide receivers? Some of them are stepping up and doing a good job.
Say that again, Jim?
Your young wide receivers. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What's been the best of it? What's been the worst of it?
There's no bad. I mean, there's no bad. I mean, it's really been good. I mean, we expected Tipton to be a good football player. Lopes has really done a nice job, and you look at Quadri. I don't know if he's one of the old receivers or the young.
He's a sophomore.
Is he older?
Yes, he's older than most guys.
Okay, so you're saying he's the old guy. And Aaron Matthews, I mean, he keeps getting better, I think, every week, and he's a guy we can rely on. So, we're happy with the work they're getting. There's really nothing bad about it. I mean, do you wish you had 3 Tyler Boyds and a Chester Wheel on one side? Yeah, but it is what it is.
But your receiving corps stepped up. Without Boyd, without Ford, they've stepped up at least in this pass game, right?
They really have, and again, obviously we expect to get Dantes back soon, but they've done a nice job so far. But you're only as good as your last game. We're not worried about the last one. We're worried about this next one.
Can you define soon for Dante?
No.
Did Rhode Island run the triple option when you were there as a coach?
Oh my gosh, no.
No.
I was there with Coach Stowers for about 6 months.
Okay.
No, 3 months.
Okay.
I came in. I was his D coordinator for 3 months before I left. We talked some triple option. He was from Georgia Southern, but no, I didn't get to. No, thank you.
Paul Johnson said yesterday that Nate is probably the most underrated part about your offense so far, where he talks about the running game. I mean, how do you think he's done? I mean,
He's done an unbelievable job, really. I mean, he's done a great job. It's good observation by him. He knows quarterbacks a little bit. And Nathan's done a great job in the run game, and he's done a good job in the passing game. When we've asked him to do stuff, I mean, some of those throws he made on third down last week, has it been perfect? No, nobody is. And he'll make mistakes, and he'll continue to make some mistakes. But he's made some plays when we need to in games, and he's been pretty solid.
Pat, given the situation that happened at Aliquippa with the football players and the shooting and so forth, is that something that you need to spend time with your recruits on now in a different way than 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
And I don't know a whole lot about that situation, but I guess the first thing I know, those weren't just Aliquippa kids. I think they were move-in guys.
Right.
From what I've heard, they weren't really. It's not like Coach Izzy had coached those guys for the last. They both transferred in this year. Didn't really know what you're getting. Open enrollment, whatever it may be. So you feel bad for that situation, but that's something we're always conscious of. Where are these kids coming from? What are they doing? It's character. And we've got to evaluate character. So it's a tough situation up there, and I don't wish that upon anybody.
Is that tough to do? Does that take a lot of time away from the football side of things nowadays, compared to 10, 15
You mean
years
just
ago?
as far as
As far
evaluating?
as evaluating character, culture, that kind of thing?
Not really. I mean, it's the same thing you always do. I mean, we're for years we've done that. I've gone out to different homes, whether it be a junior college, and go to his apartment and seen stains all over the rug, candles in the corner. Like what happened in here? It's just kind of that's what we've done for years. I mean, you're evaluating, and you're not just going out there to have dinner and see what's going on. So I mean, it's something that's been going on for years. It's part of your job. It's never over. You think you got a great one until you lift up the rug and look underneath it or move the desk. So that's a constant trying to figure that out.
What was your first exposure to a triple option offense as a coach?
Really when I was at Rhode Island, not with Stowers, but we played, Tubby Raymond in the wing tee off, wing tee. That was it. I mean, I don't know if that was a triple, same exact offense that you're looking at today, whether they called it was Tubby Raymond's wing tee or he's really the guy that invented it, I believe. And I don't know if Paul Johnson, came from that, that neck of the woods, or if it's to me it's the same thing, except they don't really run their old Sally play that you see them run. But that's when we saw some of that.
He has some run and shoot tendencies that Paul Johnson does in his offense, doesn't he? He said that when he went on the conference call yesterday, when he first started out at Georgia Southern. Do you see that now?
I don't see much of the run and shoot. I think of Miles Davis and the run and shoot.
He actually met with Miles Davis
He did.
when he first became a coach.
Yeah, well, I don't see a whole lot of that, but maybe we'll see that tomorrow or Saturday. I don't know. Hope not.
what do you do to prepare for? I'm sorry.
Okay.
What do you do to prepare for the possibility of them passing? Because I know against Navy, you guys kind of limited the big games, on the ground, but they were able to kind of hit some big pass plays for you.
We'll do some little things here and there differently, and try to but you're unhappy with the way Navy also ran the ball on you, so it's a double-edged sword. As soon as they run the ball on you, if they're not running, if you're stopping to run a little bit, then all of a sudden they're going over top. It's tough. I mean, it really gains your DB's eye. So our guys got to be disciplined back there, but you also better get yourself involved in run games. So that's hard to say. Stop the run, but then don't let that guy run by you, because he looks like he's running to block you, and then he runs by you. And then you want him to get off that block and go make the tackle and wonder why he's not there. So we got to be disciplined and change it up a little bit.
You said earlier in the week that you were more comfortable going facing triple option this year than last year. Do you still feel that way 3 days later after?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it's just seeing it. The more you see it, and again, in 10 years, I'm going to feel a lot better if I'm lucky enough to still be here in 10 years. Of seeing it, year in and year out. It's just something you get used to, and I think our kids will feel more comfortable, even if it's the younger guys in our scout offense, doing that. So I think every year you'll feel more comfortable.
You mentioned Monday you spent some time in practices, set time aside to work against this. Have you noticed a difference maybe in the way the team's preparing, as far as how they seem prepared to face it on Saturday because of that?
Yeah, and again, we spent time during all of our doubles. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
During summer camp, we definitely spent time on it, and it really helped. When could you really tell? Is on Tuesday. It wasn't like, what are we doing? It was like last year on Tuesday, it was like almost shocked that we're going to be in 2-point stances with our defensive ends. That's one of the things you'll see. I mean, Juan Price always puts his hand on the ground. He'll be in a 2-point stance like he was last year. won't be some surprise. Then we got some three-man front stuff that we'll do, but you know, the Tuesday you really noticed where it wasn't foreign to them. They understood exactly what they were going to do, and it was just really polishing up things through the week. And then every day you're adding a little bit more. Hey, they do this too. I forgot to tell you. You know, so you got to adjust different formations and blocking schemes that they'll have, and then they'll have some things you haven't worked on.
Do you see James getting a little stronger every week?
You know, sometimes it's hard to say. He's been pretty strong, so you're not going to see a major improvement. You know, it's not like he's been weak. I mean, usually when you see a weak guy, he goes in and benches 125 pounds. When he gets to camp as a freshman, then you see major gains early, and then there's a plateau. I mean, he's an older guy that's been here before, and he's been the player of the year in the conference, so he's already played at a high level. He's playing good for us. I don't see a major. If we get the same James Conner every week, I'll be happy with that. You don't see major improvements at this time in your career, I don't think. Except catching the ball, maybe, right? Except his touchdown passes he's got.
Chris Blewett got off to a pretty slow start to the year, but he's seemed to turn things around as of late. Were there any adjustments that he might have made, and are there any discussions that you might have engaged with him to get things going?
You don't discuss much with those guys. You kind of just let them go and ignore them, maybe. But no, Chris is, he knows what he's doing. I'm not sure he was feeling as good as he wanted to feel early in the year. And today I had to yell at him. He's over there punting the ball like an idiot, going from one side to the other. I'm going, Chris, what are you doing? Are you trying to mess up your, It's like the golf swing. It's like going out and playing baseball when you're, when you're a golfer. He likes to swing this way, and all of a sudden he's swinging this way. And I'm going, what are you doing? That's the only conversation I've had with him. Stop punting. You're not a punter. But he's out there having fun kicking the ball. So he's a beauty.
Is there anything else for Coach?
Do you have any take on the league staying at 8 games, the vote yesterday?
Shocked. I thought it was going to go the 9-way, but I had a conversation with Scott Barnes yesterday prior to it happening, and I didn't know it was for sure going to happen. But I think it's great. I think he gives opportunities for other people to play against. Whether go out to Pac-12 or Big Ten or whoever, gives you an opportunity to get outside the conference. I'm happy with it. It's what we've been doing. It doesn't change much of the structure. Although I would have been fine. The biggest thing it comes down to, Jen, is can you get games scheduled? It's hard to, scheduling is tough. We're still looking for an 18 game, I think. I think it's an 18 game. It's just hard to get the right person, the right team, and I think everybody across the country is having problems scheduling. So scheduling is a problem, which I don't know how they figured that out, that it's not a problem. But if scheduling is a problem, then, the 9 games make sense. So at least teams in the conference are going to play and you can fill out a schedule.
Meaning shocked that that was an option on the table?
Well, from all discussions, it seemed like it was going to be a 9 game. It was kind of almost a slam dunk. And then, so I don't know what's happened. I haven't had time to talk to Scott Barnes really to find out what the final reasoning was. Just worried about stopping the option and getting a first down.
Was the vote unanimous?
What's that?
Was it unanimous?
Oh, I have no idea.
You don't know how Scott voted?
I know it was unanimous that we practiced the last 3 days. I know that. That's about it. I didn't, I let them do their job. I'm trying to coach football over here.
Do you still go to a game every Friday night?
No, we're only allowed so many days out on the road, so we haven't been out yet, but we will get out. We've got our plan here for we got an open week and some days in there that we'll get to get out, but we got a schedule and just try to follow the schedule. So I don't like to get out early in the year because I think our kids here need us here. They're the most important ones at this point. We got to stay here with our players.
You guys think